So these netsuke, these strange Japanese objects, are all incredibly individual and extraordinarily three-dimensional. I mean, the first one I pick up here, made of ivory, sometime the beginning of the 19th century, and it's a sleeping servant. It's a poor man who has fallen asleep. There's an interminable tea ceremony going on, and he's a tea ceremony servant, and he's all back. You know, he's so exhausted. There could be no greater exhaustion than this poor man who's fallen asleep while his master goes on and on and on inside. But they're three-dimensional. You have to tumble them in your hands. There's no front and back. They move round and round and round and round. And so, for instance, I mean, here's an ivory one, but here's an extraordinary, beautiful wolf. And when you pick it up, because you have to pick them up, the first thing you feel is this long, spiny back of this wolf's backbone and his ribs there. And there he is, and you just know that this is a hungry wolf. And then you kind of tumble it in your hands, and you realize that he's got a tortoise or a turtle just under his paw, and the poor wolf, what's he going to eat? He's got this turtle or this tortoise, but he can't get into it. And so it's an angry, hungry wolf. And again, you know, there's an exhausted servant, but here's a hungry, hungry wolf. And you just feel it in your fingers. And they all have this extraordinary sort of irreducible character to them. You know, there are characters everywhere here. And some are better than others. There are some really kitschy, terrible ones as well. There's an appalling one here of a fat, young boy with a no mask, and I just look at it and it's absolutely horrible. I can't bear it. But then there's, you know, here is a meddler, and this beautiful wooden one, this old one here, is when you pick it up. I used to have this in my pocket when I was doing my research and walking around, because it's a particularly good one. If you're anxious, you can sort of roll it round and around your fingers. But this meddler is beautiful because, you know, a meddler, comes into fruit, and then it's just, this one is just on the point of sort of deliquescence, of being so ripe that it will fall apart. But you do actually want to sink your teeth into it. And it's a hard object, but representing something completely on the point of softness. And they all have their own individual quality. And one of the joys about them is that almost all of them somewhere have the maker's signature. So they're all incredibly carefully made. And somewhere on them, you'll find on the foot of a man, or on the paw of an animal, or on a leaf, you'll suddenly find the characters, the Japanese characters, that tell you which proud maker of this netsuke made it and where they made it. So they all have that history too.